Hi guys, it's Eliza and this is Eliza's Bookshelf. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to go over Paper Names by Susie Luo. This is part of something new that I'm doing called BIPOC Fridays. It's going to be at the last Friday of every month, and this month's a little bit different. It's actually September 1st because I actually thought that the month ended on a Friday, but whoops. So moving forward, it will be the last Friday of every month, and I'm just going to be highlighting books from Asian authors or BIPOC authors. But mostly maybe I'll focus more on Asian authors, who knows. But I've already got a few books lined up for the rest of the year, and at the end of this video I'll let you guys know what the next book is that I'm super excited about. Actually, I'm excited about October and November's too. December, I don't know what yet, but maybe I'll find like a holiday one. But anyways, okay, so Paper Names by Susie Luo. Susie Luo, this is actually her first book and I thought it was so good. She's a writer based in New York. She graduated from University of Pennsylvania and Cornell Law School. She wrote at night while working as an investment banker at Goldman Sachs. And this is her first book. That's crazy. Paper Names by Susie Luo. I put this off for so long. I knew it was going to be good, but when I hear about these types of books, I know it's going to be very hard to read. I'm already working a full-time job. I have kids, and sometimes I just want to escape. And so I don't want to read something too serious all the time, but this was a fantastic read. Sometimes you just gotta address all the trauma and all like your family issues, right? And this one definitely made me cry. And it opened up a lot of good conversations with my husband, and he didn't really come from the same background as I did, but he's very open and understanding and was able to empathize with things in here, so I thought that was great. So in this book, you have two families that are brought together after this violent event, and I thought it was something else when I read the synopsis, but basically you have a Chinese family with the dad Tony, the daughter Tamara, wait no, the daughter's name is Tammy, and the wife's name I forgot. I read this weeks ago and I knew I should have filmed this right after I read it, but I forgot all the details already. So you have the Chinese family. The father was an engineer in China, but when they moved over here, he is now a doorman for this hotel. And then you have this other guy who is Oliver. He is a handsome white lawyer. And so something happens at this hotel that brings these families together, and after decades, you see how their lives are intertwined and how they affect each other. When I read the synopsis, I thought something bad was gonna happen. Like I thought there was like a hit and run or something and the father would have died. I don't know, but it was not that at all. But I was pretty happy about how, I don't know, talking about that now. I was pretty happy about how the story went, differently than what I thought, but obviously the ending is very sad. Not to deter you from this book, but I really liked it. It definitely opened up a lot of conversations about like immigrant families and how they sacrifice so much to give their children a better life, but then the children's point of view is like, how can I repay you for this big sacrifice? Do I sacrifice my own life and what my dreams and goals are, or can I continue living my own life? I don't know, it's just so crazy. I'm sure a lot of people can relate, but yeah, it's about that, and it's just so heartbreaking sometimes. I probably cried like 3 or 4 times, and then I don't know. So sad. But I did highlight a couple of quotes in here that got me remembering some things about the book. Everyone, including my parents, loved him, respected and admired him. He was a validation of my own worth, a signal to others that I must be good because someone extraordinary loves me. So basically Tammy is dating this great guy or something that she doesn't necessarily think that she is going to end up with, but everyone loves him because he's so great, he has a good job, and it's basically like, why am I basing my self-worth off of who is liking me, you know? So that's a great conversation that you can have with all sorts of people. Like even my mom, I can talk to her about that. But anyways, so that's one that I really liked. It's just so much that you can apply to your own life here. My mother traced the outline of the mythical creature and said, better quality, but this makes you look too Asian. She was trying on some sort of shirt or something, and she said, I am Asian. I said, but not so much, you're lucky. So basically saying like, if you look too Asian, then that's not good. And if you have a little bit of white-ish features, then you're gonna be well off. And it's just so crazy because you see that everywhere. My mother liked to think that I looked white, but to white people, I was other. I would always be other. So she's basically having a hard time fitting in and things like that. And I know a lot of people feel that way too. Like first generation Asian people, they always feel like they don't necessarily fit in with everyone here, but when they go home to their home country, they don't feel like they fit in there either because they don't know the whole culture or they don't know all of the language. And I can see a lot of people feeling that way. I've only gone back to Vietnam once and I was definitely thought of as other. Like as soon as they saw me, as soon as they knew how I spoke Vietnamese, they rose up all their prices. Yeah, so I can see where they're coming from there. Let's see here, what else? Oh, this was a quote from like the father. All that mattered was Tammy. He hadn't come to America for his future. He had come for hers. So yeah, so I forgot to mention that this is alternating POV. So there's like the father's POV, there's the daughter's POV, and I think interspersed in there is the white lawyer's point of view. But yeah, I mean, that's just so heartbreaking because this is what everyone really does, right? They just think about their future family, their generations to come, and what would help improve their life. And though this is really hard for them, giving up their high status jobs in their home countries, coming here, they're just enduring everything just to have a better life for them. But man, it's hard. Oh my God. I definitely highlighted a lot of like white supremacy, racism type of stuff because I'm like, oh my gosh, I can relate, but I don't want to hound too much about that. Oh, this one was really heartbreaking too. It's about the father. He just wanted to talk to her, but he didn't know how to get through. He wondered if he ever would. So there is some sort of like, they do touch upon like physical and emotional abuse in this book. So trigger warnings if you are sensitive to that. But basically the father does hit Tammy and they do have arguments and stuff like that. And I know this can be particularly triggering for some people. I know I have a lot of like friends and family who talk to me about this stuff, but it's hard because like the father is talking about how he never wanted to become the monster that his father was, but he is just becoming that. And all he wants to do is talk to Tammy and be close to her and communicate with her, but he just doesn't know how to. So that was hard. That was hard. Oh my God, there's just so many good quotes in here. I don't want to say everything because it's so great and I think you should read it. But definitely be in that mindset that it's going to be a hard book, especially if you do come from an Asian family and you can kind of relate to all these things. This is from a Chinese family and I'm Vietnamese, but I feel like, yeah, I think my mom comes from like a half Chinese, half Vietnamese family. So I feel like a lot of the cultures are the same, or a lot of the things, the traumas that we bring over here are the same. But yeah, oh my gosh, this was such a good read. This is my book of the month pick, and I'm so glad that they featured this book because it was so good. I gave it 5 stars. Yeah. Okay, so on to my next BIPOC Friday book. So let's see when that is. When is the next Friday? Okay, let's see. So Friday, the last Friday of September is Friday the 29th. I was going back and forth between 2 books. I do know what I want to read for October already, and if you know me, I've been raving about this book a lot, but for September, I was choosing between 2 books. They're not new or anything. They're not a new release, so I think you can get it pretty easily. So if you want to read with me, just let me know. But shout out to Melody because she let me know about this graphic novel a long time ago and she read it and she loved it. So I was like, I definitely do want to read it soon. And I think finally it's the time. It is called The Best We Could Do by T. Bui. It is a graphic novel and it sounds like it can hit home pretty hard because it's about a woman who is Vietnamese as she immigrated from Vietnam to, I think, New York as well. Why is everyone going to New York? But anyways, yeah, and it's about her journey at the fall of southern Vietnam and then also her life here and her growing family and navigating her life as a mom and also a daughter still with her mom there. But yeah, she's like yearning for like the simpler times but also wanting better for her family. So kind of along the same lines as this Paper Names one. I did overall choose this over the other book, which I'm not gonna say because I still want to read it. I think it'll be a November pick. But anyways, I eventually picked this one because September is my mom's birth month. So I was going to, you know, ask them if they wanted to read with me and just celebrate her life and her like struggles of coming here and raising us and wanting better for us. So yeah, we're all gonna read together. I just texted them all this morning. I was like, hey, do you guys want to read this? So my brother's down. I think my sister wants to too. And my mom was like, yes, please give me the book and it'll take me a year to read. But I'm so excited. It is, unfortunately I didn't buy it. So I'm on a book buying ban or a book buying restriction again. So I didn't get a chance to buy it, but it is on my Libby. It was, yeah, there was like no one waiting for it. So I did check it out right away. And it's a graphic novel, so it works for Suffer-a-thon that a couple of friends are hosting this month as well. So I'm so excited. But yes, thank you for joining me for my first ever BIPOC Friday. And hopefully I remembered enough to, you know, influence you into reading this book. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye.